The NDA is, as I said before, is broad-based. It includes all the Sudanese opposition forces, the SPLM, SPLA, and the northern opposition. This is the best way forward. Our third message is that despite our conviction that these people have not changed, cannot change, and will not change, and cannot be reformed, the NIF regime is too deformed to be reformed. Despite this, we are willing and ready to negotiate with it, with the NIF regime. And so the United States and IGAD and other powers that are helping in the peace process, we encourage them to stay engaged, but we make our message very clear that the purpose of our negotiating with the NIF regime is not so that we join that regime. It is not so that we get absorbed into the NIF regime, but rather so that we effect peaceful dismantling of the NIF regime. And this is possible through negotiations. In order to achieve that, in order to achieve political settlement in the Sudan, we must increase all the four factors. We must have more dushman, we must have more intifada, we must have more international pressures, and we must negotiate so that the NIF regime is dismantled. So all these things must be positive. They must go up. Armed struggle must go up, intifada must go up, international pressures must go up, and political negotiations must go up. This is our vision. This is our method of achieving political settlement. Do not be confused when you hear that we are talking with the NIF regime. We are not about to pack our bags and go to Khartoum. No, we want peaceful dismantling of the NIF regime using this equation. We have not come to ask for military assistance from the United States. That is our responsibility, and we are doing that. But we have come. Also, the Intifada is the responsibility of the Sudanese people. So these two factors are our responsibility. They are the responsibility of the Sudanese people. The last two factors is where the international community can help us. It can help us through international pressures, and the Sudan Peace Act that is currently in the Senate can be such a pressure that can be brought to bear on the regime. An arms embargo can also bring pressure on the regime. No-fly zones can also bring pressure on the regime. Whatever pressures that the international community can bring on the regime will help bring about political settlement. However, if the international community has rapprochement with Khartoum, and this is what we were telling the European Union, this will work against political settlement, because the regime then will be more intransigent and they will commit more human rights atrocities in the south, in the Nuba Mountains, and in the other areas, including Khartoum. Finally, I want to stress your role, the role of the diaspora, especially the women and the youth. The women and the youth in any revolution are very important in any struggle, because the future belongs to them. The future belongs to the youth, and so it is their concern. For the Al-Jaysh Al-Ahmar or Lost Boys who have come here, continue the struggle through Al-Qalam Masada, and by consolidating yourselves, organizing yourselves. So I appeal to you, the diaspora, the Sudanese diaspora, to organize yourselves so that you can contribute to the struggle here abroad, as well as materially to the, at home, in terms of the armed struggle and in terms of the third track, because you can also contribute in the third track through peace through development. And for any of you who have made some money and you want to invest, we want to guarantee your investments in the new Sudan. We encourage you to go home and invest your money so that you make money. We encourage you to organize and to leave petty differences that may exist among you. We are uniting at home. And that's why Commander Tabandenga is here in the hall. That's why Commander Riek Machar is on my delegation visiting the United States. So we are uniting at home. You unite also here. That's my message to you. Unite here, establish chapters that are strong and that will support the movement. We are three movements now in one. As you know, we have merged with the SPDF. It is now part of the SPLM, SPLA. We have also merged with SAF. And so SAF is now part of the SPLM, SPLA. Let us, in the formation of your chapters, let this be reflected. Let it be reflected that you have as members of, who were members of the SPLM before, those who were members of SPDF before, those who were members of SAF before. You become one organization. By having a strong organization, there's a lot that you can do. The Ethiopians and the Eritreans, for example, do this very well. In the recent war, they contributed more than combined, Ethiopia and Eritreans, they contributed more than $100 million US, just the diaspora. For في الدياسبرا بتنظيم قوي ممكن تساهم في الstruggle at home, so that we achieve our objectives with the minimum cost, at minimum cost, so that the new Sudan is achieved as quickly as possible. I want to assure you that the struggle will continue on all the three tracks. On track 1, we'll continue negotiating with the government. On track 2, we will continue to build up the NDA into a credible alternative for the NIF regime. And on track 3, we will continue to develop our economy without prejudice to track 1 and to track 2. So the movement is on track with self-determination on these three tracks. And I ask all the people of New Sudan to invest all their energies on these two tracks, track 2 and track 3. Whenever I make rallies in the liberated areas among our people, my constant message is that you are already free. The citizens of Ye, of Kajikeji, of Maridi, of Mundri, of Yambi, of Tumbra, of Ezo, of Yerul, of Rumbek, of Tonj, of Warab, Gogrial, Twitch, and Pochala countries are totally free, and they should engage in socio-economic development without waiting for an agreement or a referendum on self-determination. In any other of the two tracks, if any of the other two tracks yields positive results, that would of course shorten the process. But you have seen the difficulties inherent in the other two tracks. With the three tracks, we retain all our options, and the three tracks mutually reinforce each other. On track 2, I can assure you that victory of the NDA is imminent. For those of you who know the Sudan, if the NDA forces, for example, close the Kasla Port Sudan Road, Khartoum Port Sudan Road, this will stop all imports and exports into Khartoum. That's very serious pressure in terms of our first variable. And if at the same time we close the oil fields, and at the same time we go on the offensive in the south, and at the same time we launch an intifada for Khartoum, I assure you this government will fall. And we will ونحن بحقق السودان الجديد. We will achieve the new Sudan, where human rights will be respected,